Hi, this is my favorite skirt. It's just a simple 8-panel jersey fabric skirt and I love it to death. I want to make more. I want to make one in black so that I can wear it with any type of top that I feel like. And also, let me show you the pattern first. Here's the pattern. This is from Stuff and Steel that is now called Self-Made. And can you see that? Is it blowing out? I don't know. There you go. And it has 3 different lengths. I'm going to use the middle one because I am only 5'5" tall. So that makes quite a long skirt. This one is made that length. You can see it's quite long. So that's the pattern I'm going to use. And I will be using I got a big pile of black jersey fabric, nothing in particular. It's just some stretchy black jersey. But we're not actually making a skirt. Oh, I got fluff in my face. We are going to make a dress. I'm going to finagle this pattern somehow into being a dress instead. That's one thing. And then we are adding pockets, because that's the one thing I miss about this skirt. It does not have pockets. And since it is just several panels, I think, it shouldn't be too hard to add in pockets in the side seams. But the question is, how do I do it if I'm adding, like a top portion to the dress as well? How will that affect the panels in the skirt? We shall see. And also, can I make a garment that is this long without having some sort of seam like around the waist to stabilize it? Because it might stretch too much. Maybe. We don't know. We shall figure that out. And what type of pockets do I want? I do know I do not want pockets that are placed on top of the skirt. I think they will be just stretched out too much, so I want them placed on the inside in the side seam. So that is the project of the week. Oh, and also, I don't know yet if I want to have sleeves on the dress, or if I'm just going to make like shoulder straps, maybe a short sleeve, because I do want to wear it with I have quite a lot of knitted tops now with short sleeves, and I don't want it to be very bulky around my arms and my armpits. So that's also something we need to figure out. But first, let's have a look at the pattern and see what we can do. I have a plan, I think. First, we do need the skirt pieces. 8 pounds for that. Well, it's 8 pounds for all of them, but I'm doing that length. And what I'm thinking is that I'm going to use this other dress that I have. Oh, let me see if I can get it up on the table here. There we go. This is just, I think it's basically a skater dress. Like so. Can you see that? Well, more or less. This is basically a t-shirt top, and there's a seam here. And I like this. It has, it has just a short sleeve, which will not be like so. It's not going to be very bulky underneath anything else that I'm wearing. It has a seam, and it's a t-shirt. It's pretty much a t-shirt with a skirt on it. So I'm going to attempt to make a pattern for this part, the t-shirt top, and then I will add on the skirt to that. Now, my plan is I'm going to make, how do I explain this? I'm going to be cutting a little bit extra in the waistline here. You can see it's all black. There's a seam here. And I'm going to add a little bit extra, maybe a couple of inches. And I'm going to overlap that a couple of inches at the top of the skirt so that I'll have double fabric. And that part I am going to what's it called? Doing the shirring, the elastic for that part. So we'll have double fabric there. There will be one seam at the top, one at the bottom, and then there will be the elastic shirring as well. Hopefully that will help the skirt and the dress keep its integrity, and that it doesn't, stretch too much down, because there's a lot of fabric here. It's going to be heavy. And I'm thinking if I have, like the waist will be slightly cinched, but still comfortable. This is a menopause friendly dress I'm attempting to make. But the shirt, the waist gets tucked in a little bit because of the shirring, the elastic in the waist, and that will also help with holding the skirt part, all the fabric from that. It's not going to be hanging loose just from the t-shirt top. It will also be against my body and sort of hanging a little bit off my waist, or my hips maybe, most of all. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'll show you. So anyway, first things first, we are going to make some pattern pieces. I need a front and a back and a sleeve. And I'm not cutting up this one, so I'm just going to put it on top of some paper and just draw around it. That's the plan. Pattern pieces are made. I have this very form curve rule to help me just do the curves around the sleeves and the neckline. Not entirely happy with this front neckline. I may have to do something about that. I'll figure that out later. Got the sleeve pattern. Excuse me. What I still need to do is the pockets, but I'm going to hold off a bit on doing that pattern piece. There's no rush either. That's one of the last things I'm adding in. But I had a realization. If I'm going to do shirring in like the waist, I'm going to need a lot more fabric here, because that really scrunches things together. And even though this does look big, I'm a big person. So when I'm wearing this dress, I can't figure out what's up and down. There we go. When I'm wearing this dress, it's not like I have a lot of extra in the waist area. So I'm not going to be able to do that unless I figure out a way to add on a whole lot of extra fabric in the waist only, which means I would have to make a pattern that's like, no, I don't want that. Do not want that. Okay, well, I'll figure it out. I did add in quite a lot of extra in this area because of that. So I guess I'm just going to trim that back so that I'll have about 1 centimeter of seam allowance here instead, and not 2 inches, since I'm not going to be able to use those anyway. So, well, that's where we're at. I'm going to fix that, and I guess next I'm just going to start cutting the fabric. There we go, a whole bunch of pattern pieces, and it's feels quite poetic that I'm calling this my menopause dress, because oh lord, is menopause kicking my behind right now. Anyhow, everything has been cut, even the pockets. Got 4 of those here, aside from the sleeves are missing and the bias binding, because I didn't have enough fabric for that. I have ordered more. It has arrived. It's been a few days. I've ordered more and the fabric has arrived, but I'm going to hold off a little bit on cutting the sleeves and the bias binding, because I'm going to start with what I've already got. And I've ironed all the pieces, and I have overlocked them as well. Can you see that? I don't know. Black is not the most helpful fabric to show what you're doing. But I love me some black too, even though I do fancy a lot of colors. So everything has been overlocked, and I am ready to start assembling. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting together all the skirt pieces, and I'll do the front and then I'll do the back, and I'm going to leave the sides because I am going to insert pockets. So I'm going to do that first, I think, and then we'll see. I'll probably have to look into how I'm going to attach the skirt part to the top part. But first, a million seams. Quick update. I have done all the skirt panels of the dress. I got front and back are all stitched together now. So I think what I'm going to do next, I'm going to work on the top part. I don't want to call it a bodice, it's more like a t-shirt. So next up I'm going to start working on these pieces. I'm going to pin together the shoulders and the sides and try it on to see how I like the fit. If I like it, I might stitch. Well, I could stitch the shoulder seam. Good heavens! I could stitch the shoulder seams at least. Wow, that was hard to say. But yeah, that's my next steps, and also figuring out how to do with the pockets, because I realized pocket placement. I did cut them so that I could attach the top part to the seam in the waist, but I need to make sure, you can see what I'm doing, I need to make sure that it isn't too high up so that I get, you know, the opening for the pockets is like in my armpits or something. Well, they wouldn't be that high, but you know what I mean. So I guess that's my next few steps, checking how to the fit of the top, checking where the pockets go, and I guess pinning together everything and see how I like it. Exciting, very exciting. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, this is very close up. Sorry about that. I have pinned the top of the dress, the bodice, the t-shirt part, I don't know what to call it. And you know what? I think this neckline is just fine. At least for now. We'll see when I get some binding on it. I did feel at first that it was a bit short. My waist is down here, but it is curling up, and I am going to have rather a full skirt that will pull it down a little bit. It is, after all, stretched jersey. I think the only thing I'm not quite happy with is the amount of extra fabric that I'm having here, so I might do some darts like so. I don't know if you can see that, it's black, but like that. Good thing I didn't cut out the sleeves just yet, because that will of course affect the shape of the sleeves as well. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and stitch the shoulder seams, I think. And then I am going to pin the skirts and the pockets, I think. But first of all, the most tricky part at this point, wiggling out of this with pins everywhere. Let's see if I can do it. Well, let's not see that. Let's not see that. We'll just jump on over until to something else. Something else. Yeah. Here she is, finally finished, and I absolutely love it. It's quite a full skirt. I don't know. Can you see all of me? I'm having issues finding a spot in my house where I can fit all of me in the frame. Please ignore the boxes over there. There are still some moving boxes left, even though it's a year since we moved here. Everything hasn't found a home yet, but I have an amazing dress. Where did I leave off? I think I was working on the top, and I was going to do the shoulder seams. So I've just kind of been puckering along, and before I knew it, I was done. So here it is. I attached the skirt to the top, and it hits around here, which is, what's that? A couple of inches above my waist, maybe 1 or 2 inches, which is great. I can, I don't, well, I still have a big belly, but it doesn't hit like just over that. It hits higher up, which I like. I have pockets, very important, big roomy pockets. I did make a mistake when I was setting the pockets in, because I forgot to, well, the opening was too big, so I had to hand stitch that at the very end. But other than that, everything has gone very smoothly. Neckline is, oh, blowing out a lot, but yeah. Very happy with the neckline. There we go. And yeah, sleeves might have been just a tad larger, but you know, I got big arms, so it is what it is. I didn't end up doing anything here because I did feel that I had too much fabric, but I mean, it's a jersey dress. I know it's black, so it might be hard to see, but you know, once it was stitched together and the sleeves were added, it doesn't feel like there is that much excess. So I'm happy with that. So all in all, yes, 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 yes. 1,000 times yes. I am definitely going to be living in this dress. I definitely want to make more of them. Maybe with long sleeves. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah. And for this skirt part, which was of course wider than the top, I just gathered the fabric. I just stitched in 2 threads of sewing thread and just scrunched it together until it was the same width as my top and stitched it in place. So yeah. I'm so happy. Also, I got one more thing to show you. I'll be right back. Here it is. This is my Wednesday cardigan, and I wanted to make a cropped cardigan that I could wear with this dress in particular, or any of the other ones that I plan to make. It is from the Wednesday inspired yarn that I dyed. So it's black, gray, bluish, and it hits about the same spot as the where the skirt and the top are connected. So yeah, the pattern is, I believe I used Tin Can Knits their Flax Light, And instead of knitting a sweater, I just omitted the pattern on the sleeve, and I chose to knit back and forth so that I got the opening in front here. I could have also just sewn it and what's it called, steeked it, but I didn't this time. I'm not afraid to. I've been steeking things for more than 30 years, but I chose to do it this way this time. So there's another one of my finished projects. I was so lucky with the buttons. Can you see that? I think they fit so nicely with this yarn. So yeah, new outfit. Incredibly happy with both of them. And I will for sure get a lot of wear out of them. Well, that's it for this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye!